Hey guys, let's talk about the case that seems to be on the tip of everybody's tongue today. That's the deportation case against Mahmoud Kahllil. Kahlil was arrested Saturday by ICE agents. He's a Syrian-born activist at Columbia University. The State Department revoked his green card this week for leading anti-Israel protests in the wake of the October 7, 2023 attack on Israel by Hamas, in which some 1,200 people were massacred, and which led to the Israel-Hamas war, which, and in many cases has led to the physical and verbal intimidation, as well as discrimination against Jewish students who are, of course, protected under American civil rights law. A federal judge in New York blocked Kahlil's deportation, the court's weighing a filing against his arrest and the government's planned removal of Kahlil from the country. A hearing is scheduled in that case for today. President Donald Trump on Monday said that arrest of other anti-Israel activists who are from other countries and here either on student visas or green cards, but not citizens, are imminent, and that the State Department reportedly plans to use AI to locate these students who are they consider pro-Hamas and revoke their visas. Foreign nationals who are in the U.S. on visas or green cards have no protected right to support designated terrorist organizations like Hamas. There are multiple legal grounds on which Kahlil and other anti-Israel demonstrators could be deported. One of them is Turner versus Williams. That's a Supreme Court case from 1904, which set the precedent that said aliens can be deported if they are engaging in specific dangerous activities or if they have certain dangerous views that those, quote, who hold and advocate them would be undesirable additions to our population, end quote. Now, other civil libertarians are saying that this is a free speech, protected free speech and civil rights issue, and that Kahlil's anti-Israel speech, even his anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic activities on campus, are protected under civil rights law and American free speech law. Let's talk a little bit more about Kahlil. He was born in Syria. He's a permanent U.S. resident, but not a citizen. He's been in the country since 2023, and until December, he was a graduate student at Columbia University in New York. And according to the Department of Homeland Security, while at Columbia, he, quote, led activities aligned to Hamas, a designated terrorist organization, end quote. The rest comes as the Trump administration, in accordance with an executive order issued by Trump in his first days in office, works to punish those who engage in, quote, anti-Semitic harassment and violence in the wake of Hamas's slaughter of some 1,200 people in Israel on October 7, 2023. Now, the move to revoke Kahlil's green card and deport him from the country has prompted a lot of criticism from free speech groups, as well as particularly on the American left, including many members of the Democratic Party. Students who have faced anti-Semitic harassment, hostility, physical intimidation, verbal assaults, exclusion from parts of their campuses, and other forms of discrimination from Kahlil and other pro-Hamas students see things differently, of course. They have not been able to attend their classes in some cases because they've been impeded at schools like Columbia by demonstrators who are anti-Israel and preventing specifically Zionists. And of course, that is, most Jews are Zionists. So students like Kahlil have attempted to turn Zionism into a slur, when in reality, Zionism is simply support for the Jewish homeland. And according to legal experts, there are some strong legal arguments for the legal deportation of students like Kahlil and other pro-Hamas demonstrators being upheld by our courts. For starters, there's Turner versus Williams. That's a Supreme Court case from 1904 that set the precedent that aliens can be deported if they're engaging in specific dangerous activities or if they have certain dangerous views that, quote, those who hold and advocate would be undesirable additions to our population, end quote. Now, the Supreme Court's been pretty clear that the First Amendment can apply with some conditions to foreigners like Kahlil. And based on precedent, it seems that those conditions may be met in this case because of his vocal support and activities that align with the supporting the activities of Hamas, a designated terror organization. Now, under the Immigration and Nationality Act, which was a U.S. law passed in 1952, a visa holder who, quote, endorses or espouses terrorist activity or persuades others to endorse or espouse terrorist activity or support the terrorist organization, end quote, can be deported. Yesterday, a judge in New York blocked Kahlil's deportation while that judge considers the arguments of his attorneys. My read on this case is that the case will wend its way through the courts, eventually reaching the Supreme Court, which will uphold his deportation based on its prior rulings and previous legal precedent. This comes as Columbia and other universities are being investigated for anti-Semitism on their campuses. Last week, the government stripped Columbia of $400 million in federal grant money because of their failure to protect Jewish students on campus. I hope this case stirs more debate among you guys out there who are paying attention to the news. It's an important issue. If you're interested in my analysis of cases as well as my discussions about books, which I love to read and also write, please subscribe to my page. If you want to learn more about my work, check out my website at kevindeutsch.us.